Hi everybody, it's me, Charles Norman from Sports Solutions LLC, and I'm really excited about this one. This video is going to be for high school athletic directors and coaches, and if you happen to be an administrator at the high school, maybe you're the principal, one of the counselors, you guys might want to watch this too, but I think you're going to have to get buy-in from your athletic directors and your coaches. Although I know you could probably make them use the software, that's usually not how the best way to get something to be successful. Introducing myself. So, Charles Norman, and I'm from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of Athletic SOS, which I'm going to be talking about with you guys today. And normally when I come here, I tell you guys about our individual program, right? So that you can look down below. I give you a code, I give you instructions for how to use the code, and you guys can use it at no cost, and it is for the individual piece. What I'm going to do in this one though is a little bit different. I'm going to show you our high school version. Normally I wouldn't even bother with this because I get to go into the high schools and get to show them the software and answer all their questions, and we can kind of do a back and forth. But we rewrote the software, and we rewrote it in a way where it's really easy to onboard and get started. And then I used, if you guys have been following me at all, you know I used to work for the government, local government, and one of the things that I had going for me was I had a reputation for being able to build systems. My group, we would build systems and we would get adoption easier than everybody else. One of the things people don't know about in any kind of government environment, it's top down. So a manager, the head of a department would say, hey, we need this done, we need this automated, we need you to take this process and change it and automate it. And so we would come in and we would go to the group that was doing whatever the project was, and we would figure out a way to make step-by-step, write a system that would sort of automate some of the process. And the idea was to take some of the work off of people, but what you were really doing in government was where you were interfering in the way they already did business, and it wasn't taken lightly. So anyway, so my group got really good at when we would build something, and people would start to use it. And it wasn't 100% where it went through or it worked perfectly for them, but then we would iterate around that and we would finally get it working. And I was really good at that. And a lot of that came from me working with my dad, who was a community organizer. He was really into it. At one point he worked with the youth gang services. He was like in charge of the youth gang services. And I used to go around with him and to get these guys, they're really kind of hardened guys, to try to shift their lives into another realm, I would say, try to get them moving forward with their lives away from what they were doing was pretty tough. But he had a way of doing it. He had a way of talking. I think I took that with me as I moved on in my career in computers and systems, and I kind of adopted some of the things he did. So this is going to be a cool challenge for me. So a few weeks ago, I went to the Hawaii Athletic Directors Conference, and I had gone a previous year and I didn't do very well, but I listened. And so when I came back, I went back this year and I signed up 38 schools. And then when I got back, we got another 4 schools contacted us to be a part of the program. So I'm feeling really kind of charged up here. And then the second thing is, since I've been doing these videos, and I've been doing these for a little over a year and a half now, you guys go back and take a look. But last year in 2022, the end of 2022, somewhere around October, November, my numbers started going through the roof of people that are using the code that I show you below. You starting to use those codes to sign up for the program. So I'm doing something right here. So now I'm going to take the big leap here, and I'm going to try to get you guys to sign this up, get yourself signed up to use our system for your high school athletes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm talking right now. I'm going to go in. I'm going to show you the high school version of the software. I'm going to go through it really quickly. So it's not going to be heavily detailed, but it'll be enough for you to get a really good feel of what it does and how you will assist your high school athletes. They're going to do most of the work. They're going to find their own schools, and then you're going to come in afterwards, and if you want to, you guys can help them. If you don't, you don't have to. And then I'm going to come back here and make you an offer for you guys to use this thing, and I'm going to try to convince you from this video, you've never met me before, you're not quite sure about the software, to take a chance on it anyway. And so that's going to be my challenge here, and I'm kind of excited to do it. Okay, so let's stop here. Oh, for you guys that are just individual parents or whatever, and you just want to use the software, just look down below and you guys can go ahead and move forward. For those of you that already trust me and think you want to do this regardless, at the very end of this video, I'm going to leave a page with what I need from you to set your school up and then I'll contact you with your information, your login information, and you guys are good to go. And you won't have to worry about anything. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and let's go in and let me show you the software. All right, guys, so let's go quickly through the system. I want to give you a brief overview of the parent side of the portal so you have a better understanding of what's going on. So you're going to give this code that I'm going to give you guys after we set up your high school. You're going to get a code that will tie your parents to your high school if they use that code, and it will also allow those parents to use the system with no cost. So those are two things that are going to happen with the code that we create for you. Once they get the code, they're going to go ahead and register their own child, which means that your staff on your high school does not have to register the high school athlete. The parents will do it, and they'll add all this information in over here you see on the left hand side. And they can add other things in here. And we have videos and tutorials that show them exactly what to do. But let's get quickly into how they're going to use the system to find schools for their purposes that fit them perfectly. They're going to simply click on Add Schools. And then we start with their academic information. And you can see here, we gave this kid a 3.6 GPA. These are their ACT scores. These are their SAT scores. And I like to show this during my demos because down here you can see that our system picked up the fact that their ACT score did not match up with their GPA score. So we just like to show that the software is doing more in the background than you might have thought previously. And we even tell them what score they should have. And this is what the college admissions offices are going to use in their software. They'll see that discrepancy also. And so they can decide whether they need to take the test again or they just want to move forward. So that's the initial pieces that we work with their academic information. Next, we're going to talk about them selecting their sport. And take a look at this list. We have every single sport there's an opportunity to get an athletic scholarship. But for your school, for your high school purposes, the only sports they will see are the sports that are offered at your school. That is really important. That's why we need to make sure that you have an athletic program on your campus. And if you do, we're going to match up the sports on your campus so that your student athletes can pick that sport. In this case, we're just going to choose basketball. And then they can continue searching. They can either search by a region or they can search by states. And we show the states that are included in each region over here. So in this case, I'm going to pick the West Coast. And then they're going to pick the level they can participate. Now this is really crucial for you guys. You will always have student athletes and their families who think they can play at a higher level than you might believe they can play. But we don't want to block them for going for that. So what you can say is, listen, I will help you guys at this level and below. So say they're a D2 level athlete. They think they're D1. Say, hey, look, put a couple of D2 schools in here and I'll do an outreach for you. I know you believe you're D1. The software will let you do whatever you want to do. Go for it, but don't expect me to be able to vouch for you there. I'm not going to do that. So in this case, let's say it's a D2 level kid, and then they just hit search. And so our algorithm will pick up. We know it's a male. We know they play basketball. We know they're looking out west. I've got their academic information. And so we're going to give them schools that they academically qualify to attend that have their sport. And you'll notice over here, the schools are in alphabetical order, but over here under Decision Assist, that it's a color code over here. But I'm going to make a big change here because I wanted to show you guys something a little bit special here. Okay, I wanted to show this because I wanted the color code to make sense to you guys. So in this case, if they see blue, it means academically they're in the top 25 percentile of the kids that were accepted into that college the previous year. Doesn't mean they're going to get in. Doesn't have anything to do with their athletic ability. But this school has men's basketball at the Division II level, and their academic information puts them in the top 25 percentile. If they see green, they're in that middle. They're in that 50 to 75 percentile. If they see yellow, it means they're in the bottom 25 percentile. And if they see this white or clear, that means that school does not use the SAT and ACT as a criteria for acceptance into that institution. And so this is all great news for the parents. They can find out a lot about their options and opportunities. But we go even further than that. If they click on details, we're going to give them even more information about the school. We're going to tell them about whether it's a public or private school, what the tuition is, what the application fee is. And there's some other information. If they took the SAT or ACT, based on their score, if it was a yellow, what score do I need to get up to blue, which could be a better chance to get into that school and maybe get some academic money on top of my athletic money if I don't get a full ride, if I'm not in a full ride sport. Also, we have contact information for the coaches, and down here at the bottom, We have a link to the school. We don't know. Do they have my major? What kind of atmosphere, ambiance is it? Is it someplace I want to be? Is it rural? Is it urban? Is it suburban? What kind of environment is it? Because we want them to go to the school that fits them. And then we have a link to the athletic homepage. And then here we have a link to the sport page. So this would take them to the men's basketball page, because again, we're trying to get our kids to understand how to do some research. What size kids do they bring into this program? What year are those kids coming out from my position? Do they, what size are those kids? Do they fit my profile? Does this make sense for me? If they like it, they'll save it. If they don't, they'll just move on and go and pick another school. So they can do this all day. But the second part about this is, we know a majority of your kids are not going to play at the collegiate level. That's just not the way it is. But they can still use our software, because they'll come in, click this academic only button, and now we take the sports out of it. And then if they hit search, they're going to get 2-year schools, they're going to get 4-year colleges and universities, and then they're also going to get trade schools. And so again, our goal is very simple. We leave no one behind. And that is what makes us special from everyone else, that the families and the kids are going to do research. They're going to try to find the schools that fit them. And then they're going to go in and reach out to those schools, let them know where they're going to be, where they're going to play. And hopefully that will help them get an athletics scholarship. It'll put them in a better position than everyone out there just trying to get discovered when they go to these camps or the viewing tournaments or the combines or the showcases. They're going with a different purpose than everyone else is. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. And then all of the other kids in your program that will not play at the collegiate level, they can use this system, and it gives them an advantage over everybody else on the campus, because they got this extra tool that the other departments, other pieces of the school don't have, and they get to be included in what the rest of the campus is doing too. So they're doing both. We're an and, we're not an either or, we're an and. So it elevates your department, and we think you're going to be sending more kids and have them better prepared for what they're going to do after they walk out of that gate on their last day of school after graduation. When your kids walk out, they've got a goal, they've got something they're going to work on. And now let's talk about your side of the equation, because you're not going to do any of this work for your athletes. They're going to do this for themselves. You're going to assist them on the other side. So let's take a look at what that looks like. And so now you can see that we're on the coach portal, and this is really the school administrative portal. We did call it coach, but it's for your athletic directors, it's for your counselors, it's for your coaches, it's for everybody on that side of the program that are not going to do the searches for these kids, but you want to assist them and help them. And so all you're going to do when you come here is you're going to click on player profiles, and you will see all of the kids that use your code to sign up for Athletic SOS. You will see them in this drop down list. And so let's imagine right now you're a counselor, and you happen to notice that Charles here has one athletic school, but he also has one academic only school. And so you're going to click this little button right here, and you're going to be able to go in as that counselor and say, hey, let me call Charles in. Let's talk about this academic only program. I can't really help him if he's trying to get an athletic scholarship, but I can help him start on this, creating his application, just making sure with some other tools I may have that he is academically qualified to go there. And let's talk about, everything that he needs to put together to try to make a bid to get into this school in general. But imagine that you're the baseball coach or the basketball coach. Here you can come in and say, listen, I told Charles anything he's doing D2 or below, I can help him out. And so you can come in here and click on that button, and now you have that head coach for that college. You have their contact information and their name. You can pick up the phone and make that initial contact or outreach out to that college coach, and this can make all the difference in the world. You can talk to that coach, let them know that you believe this kid can play at that level, that you would like to send their profile, which is stored in our system, and you would be able to send out that profile to that coach immediately because you have enough of their contact information to do it. But here's the other win for you. I know you're doing a little bit of extra work for your kids here, but now you have a contact with a college coach somewhere. And even if that college coach doesn't need what this particular athlete does, there may be someone else in your program that they could use. Maybe that coach will say, hey, we don't really need this, but we do need that. Do you have that available for us at this level? We'd love to take a look. And then even in future years, you can reach out to this coach for some kid that's coming 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And so this is how you're going to create. So it's a win for you. It's a win for the student athlete and their family. And it's a win for that college coach, especially the coaches that are not in that Division I level, because they don't have the travel budget. They would never know this kid completely across the country is suited perfectly for them and that that kid wants to go, because what you're going to be able to say is, hey, I've got a kid whose family's interested in going to your school. Academically, they're qualified to attend, and I believe they can play at your level. Let me send you something for them. And within Athletic SOS, you can send a profile link that can have video for them and other things that that college coach can kind of take a look and evaluate. And then you guys have a relationship. And so it's a win-win-win for everyone. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so that was a really quick overview of what the system can do. We're adding some features in as we move forward, so you guys can use this as a fundraiser, because one of the things we found is that businesses around get really excited about this. They already place banners in your gyms and on your football and baseball fields, but now they can add this too, so that every time one of your kids or the family members log in, or every time one of your coaches log in, they will see their logo within the system, and they'll show that they were supporting them. And then we can even do it where you can click through. I don't want to get too deep into that right now. I just want to give you a brief overview of the software before we make this video too long. Okay, guys, so that's it. So let's go back out and then let's discuss this further. All right, guys, welcome back. So hopefully that gave you a nice little sort of overview of what the software is and how you would be working with the families, and then what your side would get out of it. And so now it's my job to convince you to do this. Even if you're not quite sure if you want to do it, or maybe you want a little bit more information, you can always contact us at info@athleticsos.com, and I'll get back to you, or somebody in our group will get back to you and kind of walk you through and make you feel more comfortable. But I don't want you to wait for that. I want you guys to want to use this right now. And so at the end of this, at the end of what I'm doing right now, I'm going to give you a page, and you guys can send me that information again at info@athleticsos.com, and then in the subject line, just put high school version, and then we're good to go. And I'll set you guys up. Only thing I need from you guys, I need you to be a legitimate high school, and I need you to have a website. I need those two things, because I need to go in and take a look at your high school website, because of the sports that you have there, because that's going to be important. I want to make sure those sports are ready to go when you guys sign up. So now, how do I convince you guys to use our software? So a couple of things. You guys saw how the software works. And so I'm not charging you to use the software. And I want to explain this really, because I always say it's no cost. I never say it's free. It's no cost because I'm never going to charge you guys as long as we can stay in business. That's our goal, is to not have to charge you guys. And I do that because there's some schools, one of the things I tried to avoid for you guys to make this a no-brainer is you don't have to go and get any money out of your budget, your school budget. You don't need to take anything out of your athletic budget. You don't need to go, and I'm assuming you don't even need to go to ask for permission, because I could, if you guys want to, I can set your school up, give you a code. You could give that code to your parents, and they could just go off and do their searches, and then you guys never even use the coach's side of the ledger, right? You don't have to go in. They don't even have to know. You guys can see what they're doing if you don't want to. You don't have to. So that's one phase. You could actually get started and help your kids without making it so onerous where you got to get permission. You got to get all your other high school coaches in the system and do all that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but you should still use the system, because if it starts to be successful, you guys are ready to go. You're ramped right on. Number two, you want to kind of try to figure it out. And this is why I'm doing this in June. Because in July and August, we're off and running. We're going to be at a lot of high schools, and we're going to have this thing fully set up so that high schools can automatically get their information to us, and then we can just create the high school portion for them really easy. So what I want you guys to do, when you send me your information, I'm going to get you guys set up, and then what you can do is there's got to be a couple of kids for this summer that are coming in and they're doing workouts with you guys, or they're getting ready for football, right? They're coming to football practice. That should be getting started pretty early. Or some of the kids are coming in and doing a little summer league with you, or whatever's going on. There's got to be a couple of little kids whose parents you're probably kind of close to. You can take this software and give it to them, and they'll give you the feedback that you need, that, hey, this is great, we should all have it, which I'm believing is what's going to happen. And then you can kind of dip your toe in the water instead of going all the way in. Instead of diving all the way in, this is a good way for you to get started. So that's a great way for you to get what you need out of the software, to keep yourself convinced that this is a good thing to move towards. Whether you go all in, where all of your kids are using the software, all the sports across all of the on your campus are using it, all the coaches are in the system, you got your counselors in the system, like you went all in. That'd be the optimal way, I guess, for me, but for you too. I think you'll get the most bang out of your buck for that. if you go that way. But you don't have to. You can go slowly. Maybe it's just one sport or two sports, especially if you're a coach and you just want to kind of bring it in. This is a good way for you to get started. Find one or two of the kids on your campus that you think can play at the collegiate level, and then let's move forward on in that vein. So that's one way. The second way of you kind of getting involved, so I can make it almost a no-brainer. And then here's the final one, and I got this a lot in Hawaii. They were saying, okay, Charles, you're saying all this stuff, it all sounds cool to us and we want to use the system, but what if you cut us off? What if after next year we don't, you decide you're not going to let us in? What's the catch? Is what everyone wanted. So what we're going to be doing is, because I'm not going to be asking you guys for money out of your budget, right? So how do we get paid? How do we stay in business? So there's going to be a spot in there, and we're still working on this piece, and it's going to be a fundraising piece. And then you'll start seeing that on your coach's side of it. You'll start seeing the thing, hey, how to fundraise with Athletic SOS. And what we're going to do there is we're going to take some of those people that come in and sponsor your sports at your school anyway, and we're going to take them and we're going to say, hey, we got this new thing too. It's really cool. You guys are going to be able to show what it is, and you're going to show them how effective it is for your kids and how all the parents and the families and everybody loves it. And then you're going to charge a little bit extra, or you can charge a separate fee. There's going to be 5 spots available, and you guys are going to be able to charge them for those spots, and then we'll split that 50-50. And then you guys get the software anyway. But here's the kicker. Here's how you're going to do this no matter what. It's because I'm going to give you the software. You guys aren't paying for it. You're going to have the ability to try it out. You're going to love what it does. And if you decide you don't want to do the fundraiser, you still get the software. The worst possible situation for us, this is for both of us, you start this thing off and somebody, your principal, somebody from the district gets wind of it. They're saying it wasn't authorized, you shouldn't have done it, blah, blah, blah. You will have the software. Whoever signed up for it first, whoever is in the system already, even if you had to cut it off, they still have access to the system. Because once they register, I will never cut a family off from the software. If you gave it to someone and they have it, they've got it all the way through. So really, if you can get it in for your, at the beginning of the school year, and you give it to everybody, from your freshmen, your sophomores, your juniors, your seniors, everybody's using the software. It's available to them. Remember, we have that academic only, so it doesn't matter if they can play at the collegiate level. They can still use our software to find colleges that fit them, that they academically qualify to go to. If you give it to everybody, imagine that freshman, they still have it for 4 years. So you really don't lose. You really get 4 years of value out of this thing just by going in and trying it. And that was the kicker for us in Hawaii. Everybody signed up for it. It wasn't a big deal anymore. And so this is what I'm offering for you guys. So I think we designed it in a way very easy for you guys to get on boarded, right? You don't have to do a whole lot. And that's where our problem was when I initially built this thing, or my team initially built it. But we built it initially with a cost associated with it, and that's why it was built differently. Now you don't have to do anything. You just have to give your code out to your families. They sign themselves up. On your side, I need an administrator. That's the one thing that I have to have. I have to have the school in the system, and I need one administrator to get started, and that administrator can start adding the other coaches. If you want to make another coach an administrator, I already explained this inside the video, just in case you missed it. If you want one of your other coaches to be an administrator to kind of help you because you don't have time to do all of this yourself, you just let us know, and we will mark them as an administrator. The initial administrator cannot create other administrators, because we didn't want people canceling each other out, deleting each other out of the system. So we wanted to have some sort of control in that matter. But that's it. After that, you can always add as many coaches. You can delete coaches as long as you're an administrator. But other than that, that's it. It's very easy to use. Okay, so hopefully I've convinced you guys to use it. You guys seem to have trust in what we're trying to do. And it's funny, one of the things I got from my dad when he used to work with these gang member stuff, he used to tell me, he said, it's not that we're any better than anybody else doing this thing. It's not authenticity that people are looking for. I mean, it is. People want to know that you are an authentic person, that you're not reading the script, or you're just going through the motions, or this is just your job or something like that. What they're looking for out of you is sincerity. Do you really want to help me? And that you're not going to try to embarrass them. And the final thing was, there's a way out. If you don't want to keep doing this, you don't have to do it. And I think I'm giving all of that. I hope I'm giving you the sincerity. Our goal is very simple. We want to take your high school athletes, we want them to leverage that to start to have a great life. And part of that leveraging is we're going to teach them how to go out, do some research, to go after what they want, put themselves in the best position to get selected, especially if they're trying to get an athletic scholarship. But even if they're just trying to go to college in general, or maybe they want to go to a trade school, to start planning out their life so that they can start doing that over and over and over again throughout their life. You know, we always talk that I do that 20-year plus thing where you're 13 to 17 right now. What does it look like at 33 to 37? Because those to me are the key years for almost everybody on what your life's going to look like going down the line. You've already gone through high school, maybe you're a great athlete, you went to college, maybe you got an opportunity to play at college, you're out of college, you've had those years between maybe 22, 23 and 33, right? You're there, you're trying to get into your career, you started your first job, you might be on your second job, whatever you're doing, or you try to go entrepreneurial, you try to do something. Somewhere around 32, 33, it's going to start being real. You're going to be really good at what you do, and now the promotions start off, or you've got a good grip on whatever you try to do entrepreneurial, and so that's going to start taking off for you. What's your next position? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to end up? That's something I want these kids to learn how to do, and I want them to learn now. And then the other thing that we're trying to do with them is we're trying to teach them to leverage their athletic ability now and start to learn how to build a network of people. The one thing I've learned doing this business versus even being with the government, when I was working with the government, is you have to have a network of people you can pick up the phone and call that you trust, that are on the same path and direction that you're going to, and then you guys work together and you guys help each other out, and you know you can pick up that phone and call that person and depend on them, because that network is where when they start families, what we're trying to do then is, and it's what I'm trying to do right now with this business, and I'm doing this is the best piece of me doing this business. It's not just helping the kids. I want to do that. It's not even just helping you guys expand out what you're trying to do. It's that I'm building up a network where my kids, we're a little bit older right now, but in fact, my son's doing it right now. He can pick up the phone and use my name, and people will go, oh, yeah. What are you trying to work on? What are you trying to do? How can I help you? That is the greatest thing in the world. You can leave that to your kids and your grandkids. Man, that is tremendous. And it's hard to do. I was up pretty high with the city when I finally left out of there where I worked. But somebody would have to go through the initial application to get on. Then they would have to get to my department. I really couldn't directly help anybody. I could make a couple of phone calls for you if you got far enough along. But in this, if anybody from, once things get moving here, if somebody I know needs something from me and I can help them out, I can do it. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. And this is the most freedom I've ever had in my life. So what I'm asking for you guys, this is not for everybody. And I understand that, because you may not just want the headache period. Maybe your parents are a pain in the butt. Maybe you got too many other things going on. This is for the people who say, you know what, I don't mind taking a step off of this little ledge. It's not a far drop, I promise. You can't really get stuck. I think I put that together in a certain way, but you're going to have to take a risk. It really is a chance. You're taking a chance that this thing could backfire on you somewhere. Some parent gets upset. You gave it to somebody, you didn't give it to somebody else, or you made a promise to them or something. So you got to be really clear on what you're trying to accomplish. The easiest way is just give them the software and say, hey, we found out about this software. We think it'd be great for you guys. Here it is. Go at it. You still can have your other side set up and you can see if it's starting to catch on. But I like to go the other way and go, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to help every single one of our athletes, and we want to reward you guys for even coming out and trying out. And for the parents, this is something we have in the athletic department. It's not anywhere else on the campus. And so continue doing the other things that are available to you, but we're going to do this too. How about that? And then I guarantee you they'll be on your team for this thing. But it is an extra effort for you. It's an extra effort for the coaches in your program. So some of them may not want to do it. I don't know your situation, but it does take you a little leap of faith. And it was something I was really good at when I was working over there. And it's something I'm good at now, right? I retired early to do this. And I've learned a lot of lessons about doing it. But you've got to believe in yourself. You got to trust in yourself, and you got to want to do it. And that's the only thing I'm going to leave you with. And so hopefully you guys will take this and use it. And if not, if you need me to come in and you want to do a Zoom call, if you're not in the California area, go ahead and leave me a message and I'll set something up so I can answer a few more of your questions if you need me to. But other than that, all I need is, at the end of this video right now, I'm going to give you a page, tell you exactly what I need from you guys as far as your organization, the information I need there, and then I need that administrator, the first administrator, I'll put on there. I'll separate those two so you can see what I need for the first administrator, and then I'm going to send you a video telling you exactly what to do, and an email and a video. It'll tell you exactly what to do next, and you guys are up and running. It's not very hard to do, so I can do it remotely. All right, guys. As always, best of luck to you guys in all your endeavors, whatever you're trying to do. For you individual parents, if you guys don't have anybody that's willing to do this, definitely let your coach see this video. But You can always go down below and I always give you the information. I give you a code. You guys can do this on your own, but it's really much better if you have that coach working with you. And so we're going to move forward, guys. I'm very excited right now. We've got thousands of people now using the system. Thousands. I never thought I'd be saying that so easily. And I want to get millions doing it. There's 25 million high school athletes in the U.S. and across the world. And we've got people in other countries using it. I'm watching them log in. This thing is really growing for us. And now I want to get the high schools. I initially built this in a way where the high schools could use it to help, because the parents and the families learning how to go and find the perfect school for their athlete is great. But if they can get their coach to be a part of what they're doing and make that initial outreach to those college coaches, it changes everything. And so I hope you guys will be a part of that. For those of you that are travel club programs, nonprofits, I'll come back in a couple of weeks. I'll be ready for you guys. I want to get the high schools going right now because it's a little bit more involved. But I will come back to you guys. This same system can work for you guys. It's just going to be slightly different, and I need to let you know what that is. But I will come back, I promise, as soon as we get to the school year, I'll come back and I'll do a full video just for travel club programs, and I'll do it for any kind of nonprofits or organizations that are looking to do that as an organization. I'm working with a bunch of nonprofits now, but I know who they are. And then I've got some travel club programs that have been around in my area that are trying it out right now. And so I just want to make sure that we have it right, getting them onboarded correctly. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Oh, go ahead and do it. Please do it. We'll talk to you later.